Wow. I am 1 week postpartum, and it has been a whirlwind since Christmas, honestly. Christmas this year just did not feel the same, especially because, like, my mom really, like, makes Christmas feel so special every year. The way she decorates, and just I love being home for Christmas and just the holidays in general. Now that I've moved to Florida, I always just kind of crave being back home for the holidays. So the fact that I wasn't able to this year just felt a little funny, but we had a very relaxing Christmas. We actually ate out and just stayed in our pajamas the whole day. But at the end of the day, I kind of felt like I was missing out. And the next day was my son PJ's second birthday, so that was fun. And then the very next day, 5 a.m., my water broke. And I was currently almost 31 weeks pregnant, and that was a complete shock. Like, waking up in the morning like that and just being drenched and like, oh my gosh, my water just broke is a crazy feeling. And I actually drove myself to the hospital that morning. I called my mom once I got there, and I just was really emotional, scared, feeling like, what is gonna happen? This is way too soon. I'm not ready, and just going through all of those emotions and feeling so unprepared and just scared that something could be really wrong. And when I got to the hospital, they took me to triage and confirmed that my water did indeed break, and they did an ultrasound, and the ultrasound showed baby to be doing good. My fluid level was still normal, so it wasn't like I had lost a lot of fluid from what they could see. And I initially felt like once my water broke that I was gonna go into labor, and I didn't realize that your water can break and you can have no contractions and not even go into labor. So it was just kind of like I was waiting for these things to happen, and they didn't happen the way that I had thought they would. And immediately they told me, you're gonna have to stay here until you give birth, because you can't just like let me go home. And the fact that I had just failed my 1 hour glucose screening the week before and was scheduled to do my 3 hour glucose test that week. Gestational diabetes was something that I encountered in my last pregnancy, and I didn't think that I was going to get this pregnancy. I didn't have it with my first daughter, and with gestational diabetes, it's like your body is not able to break down sugars, but then after you have the baby, you just go right back to normal again. So they were monitoring that on top of the baby and see if I had any contractions, which I had no contractions at all. And I was admitted on Tuesday morning, and Wednesday, no contractions, no discomfort. I was still like, I feel like my mucus plug was starting to shed at that point, and I was having, some discharge. Nothing, I wasn't having any blood, but I could tell that like it was just different. It was just different from before. That was one thing they were monitoring, seeing if I had any blood, contractions, how the baby's heart rate was. So I was immediately hooked up to an IV. They gave me a shot of steroids that would help the baby's lungs if he were to come quickly. So they were able to do that immediately when I got there, and then the very next day they gave me another round of steroids to help with his lungs. They also were giving me magnesium through the IV, which is supposed to help neurological development and just the brain function in general, and also help my body to kind of relax and my muscles to just stop contracting if I was. So really they were just trying to like prevent me from going into labor. I got there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I wasn't having any contractions, discomfort, pain. I really was just in bed the whole time and just only getting up to go to the bathroom. But I was hooked on an IV. I have so many spots on my arms from the IVs they would give me. Wouldn't be able to get a good vein. I don't know. They had to do it so many times. I feel like I've gotten like 10 IVs in the matter of a week that I was there. So that was fun. I also had to get a catheter right like that first day, and that was so weird and uncomfortable. OMG. I was not having it. So luckily they didn't keep it in for too long, but it was just really uncomfortable. So Friday rolls around, and Friday evening I was starting to get back pain, and it was like coming like contractions. Like I pretty much had back labor for Friday night, Saturday night. By Saturday night, which was New Year's Eve, I was experiencing so much pain. It was like the pain was coming every 5, 10, 15 minutes, and it would last for like a minute, 30 seconds to a minute, but it was only really happening in my back. So it was, they weren't picking up on the monitor as contractions. So the fact that I was just in so much pain, and really nothing that they gave me was helping, was just so hard. It was so hard to go through that repeatedly and for over 24 hours. And the doctor had came in and checked me on Saturday, and I was 1 centimeter. So, you know, you can kind of stay at 1 centimeter for a while. It's not really an indicator that you're gonna like go into labor or dilate 5 more centimeters. So she checked me, and she was like, you're 1 centimeter, you're not having any contractions on the monitor. You know, the whole objective is to keep this baby in as long as we can. So I was just going through so much pain and not getting any relief. I literally told my husband, like, just don't come today. I'm just in so much pain, and there's nothing that anyone can do for me. And I just didn't want him to sit there and watch me suffer. So I didn't want him to come. But it's just, it's tough when you're in that situation, because you kind of just like want to suffer on your own, and you don't want anyone to see you like that. And that's pretty much how I felt for 2 days. I didn't really want my husband to be there because I was just in so much pain. Like, trying to just breathe through it and not, you know, moan out in any pain, but like I just had got to a point where I just was moaning so much in pain. And I just remember Saturday night feeling like, I don't know how much more of this I can take. It's just, childbirth is not easy. Labor is not easy. I don't know how women go through it naturally. Like, kudos to you if you are one of those women, because I was truly suffering and just like pretty much waiting to get my epidural. So Saturday, early in the morning, as New Year's Eve hit, I just like could hear the nurses like blowing their little bells and whistles and making a ruckus and laughing and just having an amazing time outside celebrating. and I just was in my room, like, I was feeling like I was dying, and I'm just like, can you just be quiet? I can't take it. No, but for real. So the doctor had come in and checked me, and she pretty much was like, I don't want to continue checking you, because any time she were to check me, it just like would increase the chance of infection, and that's really another thing that they were monitoring the whole time I was there. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it felt like I was just waiting to get to that point of like getting really sick or getting an infection, and then having to go through a C-section. I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't want to have a C-section. I had a C-section with my daughter, Chanel, 14 years ago, and it was very, very hard on my body. And while I had gotten pregnant with my daughter, I had gained, I think, probably over 50 pounds. Like, I was so tiny and small and skinny, and then I just like blew up. And after my C-section, I just remember how much inflammation that I had with her, and just how painful it was to even like lean over, get out of bed, and just needing assistance for all of that. I did not want to have to go through that again. So I'm just fortunate that I was able to deliver vaginally with my son. Early Sunday morning, I had started contracting, and it just like most of it was all back labor, and that is just so excruciating, because every time those pains would come, it was like such a paralyzing feeling. It was like I felt like I couldn't move my body, and I just had to close my eyes and breathe through it. And I'm telling you, when you're in a situation where you're in so much pain, the self-talk that happens is just wild. Like, with all of the medication and everything else, I just felt like I was at the end. I felt like I was at the end of it. And honestly, what got me through was just thinking of my mom, and just hearing my mom and dad's voice in my head, like coaching me through it. I wish I had them. I wish I had her. Like, honestly, when you're in pain, the only thing that you want is like your mom. Oh my gosh. So, just hearing her voice in my head, coaching me through it, it was like a way I comforted myself. My husband ended up coming to the hospital early Sunday morning. I called him and I told him, I think it's time that you come up. I'm starting to contract, and I'm 5 centimeters dilated. So he gets there, and at that point they were trying to give me pain medication for the back pain that I was experiencing, but it just wasn't helping. And like at that point I just had so many like things in my system that it was making me tired more than anything. And I would just try to rest in the process of all of this happening, but just not being able to, because the pain is just felt like it was never ending. So by the time the anesthesiologist came in Sunday morning, he was like, I can't give this to you right now. If you're loopy or tired at all, it's not going to be safe, because I need to be able to communicate if anything were to feel off or be off. And he just didn't think that I was ready for it. So I was heartbroken at that point. Like, just feeling like, oh, I was waiting for the anesthesiologist to come, like, the day before, you know. I was waiting and ready for that epidural. So when he came in and told me that we were going to have to hold off for another hour, it literally felt like the world was ending. And I was just like, no, don't leave, come back. But that was that, and my husband agreed, like, you know, we have to be safe, we have to wait at least 45 minutes. And by that time, another anesthesiologist had come in and gave me the epidural, and probably within 30 minutes to an hour, I was 10 centimeters dilated and ready to push. It happened so fast. Like, I didn't even push for 5 minutes and he was out. So it was an easy birth. I mean, my son weighed 3 pounds, 7 ounces, and I pushed maybe a couple times and he was out. So that was never ever an issue, you know. But the back labor that I experienced for 36 hours was just so hard to deal with. Arrow was born Sunday morning at 9:08 a.m. and I got to hold him I can't even say like I really held him. They put him on my chest for maybe less than a minute, and then they immediately had to take him to the NICU, just because there's a lot of respiratory concerns when the babies are that small. And he was 31 weeks when he was born. So he was born 9 weeks premature, and it's a scary place to be when you unexpectedly have your baby that early. And my heart literally just goes out to every mom who's had to experience their child in the NICU, because it's hard, and no one can prepare themselves for that, for the feeling of just feeling empty after you have your child, and them not being able to be with you is just the hardest thing. I was not able to hold him until 24 hours later, and I was able to see him that day in the NICU, but I was only able to touch him through the little openings in the incubator. And just seeing how small he was, oh, it just breaks your heart. It breaks your heart for your kids to not be able to just hold them and kiss them and console them and just have them close to you. But it has been 1 week and he's doing so great. The doctors, I feel like, are surprised with him at how well he's doing. He never needed any respiratory help, so he was able to breathe on his own. He has to be in the incubator because his temperature has to be regulated. He's still too small to be able to regulate his own temperature at room air, so he's incubated, and he's able to come out of the incubator for a little less than an hour, no more than an hour, I think. And I've been able to get skin to skin with him since holding him, so that has been amazing, because I just crave that, and any mom would crave, you know, that connection with their baby after, and not being able to have that in the first 24 hours is so hard. And I know it's not the same for other women out there that have their babies in the NICU, and it's just heartbreaking. And like, I just feel so sad for all the other moms that are going through something similar or have gone through it. You know that there's nothing that can prepare you for that feeling. And it's not easy by any means having a baby in the NICU, but I really am so hopeful for him and confident in his abilities, and he's just doing really well. This first week, he's gained his weight back, the weight that he initially lost in the first couple days. He was able to get his weight up. He's a little over 3 pounds 9 ounces now, and that's great. I'm so happy about that. He's currently had an increase with his feedings. I think they started at maybe 12 and then 20, and now it's 25. So he's doing really well. Today he went up to 25 mLs, which is just under an ounce, but I'm able to give him my breast milk, and I'm able to get like 2 feedings at a time for him right now. So even though my milk supply isn't like fully on and poppin', it's still great. It's still been good, and I'm still making and producing more milk every day, so that's a good sign. And I'm doing what I can to just keep myself hydrated and healthy and just keep on producing the breast milk for my premature baby, because he needs it. He needs it so much right now. And I'm just thankful and happy that I'm able to do that for him. And I'm just so thankful that everything has been okay thus far. The doctor told me today that they did like a brain scan on him, or a head scan through ultrasound or something like that, and everything looked normal. So he is growing and developing normally, and I don't have any concerns for what's ahead. I feel really confident, and I just know that he's protected. I know that he's safe. I know that he is being watched over, and that there is a purpose and a call for his life, and there's nothing that's going to stop that. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling hopeful and confident. The first day coming home was really hard for me. I cried all the way home, and I just felt really empty, you know, because I had felt so close to him before this pregnancy, feeling him kick, feeling him move around in my belly, and I loved the pregnancy feelings that I was having, and I missed that. And the fact that I had to go home empty-handed without my baby just was really hard. And it was a sad day. It was a sad day, but I'm so thankful that I don't live far from the hospital. I live like 10 minutes away, so I'm able to be with him anytime. I usually go in the mornings and the evenings. In the mornings I'll go and I'll pump, and I'll have my skin-to-skin time with him, and I'll give him his feeding, and I'll take his temperature and change his diaper, and just be a part of as much as I can. And then in the evening, me and PJ will go together, and he will have his time with him. So it's worked out, and I'm feeling good today. Like I'm feeling good again. And after postpartum, the first couple days, like right away my body felt okay. The next day I felt good. I just had a baby, and honestly I felt all right. I don't know, my postpartum experience was pretty good with my last 2 kids, and I feel like I have so much grace for myself and my body, and a love for my body and respect, and I'm not like as critical as I used to be on myself, and it's a good feeling to be at that place, because there's honestly nothing worse than feeling bad about your body or yourself in general, and just, no. I feel good, and I'm optimistic about my postpartum journey. Of course, it's not always rainbows and butterflies, and you don't always have good days, and you don't always have the days where you feel the most confident about yourself, but I truly am just leaning into that grace for myself, and I know that I'll get where I want to be again, and it's not out of reach for me, but I do have to be actively pursuing good and healthy things for myself. And it's like, now more than ever before, I really just feel like I'm at a place where I want to take such good care of my body and feel it and hydrate it the way that it should be. And I just have so much motivation, like, and all of that comes from my kids, and wanting to be healthy for my kids, and wanting to just feel my best for not just myself, but for my kids and my husband and just the people around me. Because I feel like when you feel good about yourself, it resonates with other people, and it's like a light that you carry, and I just don't want to lose that. And I hope that if you are in a situation where you're not feeling good about your body or yourself, or you're having a hard pregnancy, or you've gained weight from pregnancy, just know that there's still the light at the end of the tunnel, and it doesn't always have to be dark. You don't always have to have dark days, and you won't. And I think just remembering that, like remembering what's on the other side, I really had to remind myself so much when I was in the hospital of like what's on the other side, and not being afraid of that, because there is a real enemy out there that wants to steal, kill, and destroy the things that God has for you. And I'm so aware of that. I truly am. And I know that there's always a spiritual battle happening within and around me. And I just want to be ready, prepared, and putting on my armor so that I can be strong in those situations and on those days where it's just not a good one. But I am having good days. I'm having good days despite my baby being in the NICU, despite him he's probably gonna be there for maybe 3 to 4 more weeks, maybe longer. But I'm happy. I'm happy that he's doing well. I'm happy that I can hold him. I'm happy that he has an amazing team of nurses and an amazing doctor who is a Buckeye, who's from Ohio. And I just find that so cool, because if you're a Buckeye, you know how it is. We fans stick together, and I know it's the same for you Michigan fans, so I'm not even gonna hate. I'm not even gonna go there, because I have friends that are Michigan fans. I have family that are Michigan fans, and you know what? Respect. I respect it. I'm not gonna hate. I'm not gonna throw any hate out there, but it feels good to have a Buckeye caring for my son, and the doctor in charge. It really does. Makes me, it's like God's like, don't worry, Tosh, I got you, girl. But I just wanted to give you guys an update, because I have been a little MIA and was not expecting to be. The fact that like I left work on Christmas Eve and just didn't come back because I had the baby. And the last thing my manager said to me was like, you better be careful now. Don't have that baby. Like, you're looking like you're ready to go. And I'm just like, don't say that. It's way too early. Sure enough, that week, it's like he just could not wait any longer. And we named him Arrow. And I shared a verse on Facebook about a verse that PJ had shared with me that morning. And it's found in Psalms, and it says, what are God worshippers like? And the answer was like arrows pointed at God's bullseye. And I just love that. When I think of Arrow, I just think of how fast he came into this world, into my heart, into our lives, and just was unseen. But he is strong, he is mighty, he is fierce, and he is my boy, he is my strong boy, and I'm just so happy to welcome him into this world, and I just can't wait until he's home. So having a 31-week baby, very premature, is scary because you don't really know what's going to happen. And while you want to like compare your experience or how far along you are with other women, you shouldn't. And I was just on YouTube looking at so many like birth videos of very premature babies and just like wanting to see that light and just feel like it's gonna be okay, because you truly just don't know what to expect. But don't get caught so much in that. Just have confidence in where God is leading you and your infant, and just keep praying and keep your faith, because that's all you can really do in times where situations come fast and abruptly and unseen. Is the time where your faith is going to be challenged and you're going to be tested. But this too shall pass. I say it all the time, and it will always be my reminder of this too shall pass. I will get through this. And this whole experience really shows me how strong I am even when I feel weak. It's like Sunday morning hit and I'm just like, I cannot do this any longer. I truly felt like I was about to black out with the pain that I was experiencing, and just like, I can't take another day of this. I can't do another day of this pain and not having any relief. I'm just like, I felt like I was at the very end of myself and just like holding on. And sure enough, he came and all was good in the world. So I just wanted to give you guys an update, share my experience, what I had to go through this last week. I spent a full week in the hospital. I was discharged the following Tuesday, and here we are, 1 week postpartum, and I'm feeling good. And yeah, I just want to say thank you to anyone who has donated to the GoFundMe that my friend Destiny started, or got anything from my registry and sent it to us. We appreciate it so much. And honestly, the people that did participate in the GoFundMe or getting things off my registry, like, were people that I really wouldn't expect. And I just want to say thank you, because it just means so much to me. It really does. It really just shows me who's there for me when I'm in a hard place, and just your support in general just means so much to me. So thank you. And I can't wait for you guys to meet Arrow. But until then, I hope you guys are having an amazing start to your new year. I know I am. He came New Year's Day, so I have a Christmas baby and I have a New Year's baby. Like, what are me and PJ gonna do? I don't know. But this is God's plan. This is the way that he wanted it. So we will just be co-creators in that. And yeah, we'll get through it. Holidays are going to be very fun from here on out, that's for sure. But guys, don't lose hope no matter what situation you find yourself in. And if you are a NICU mom, my heart is truly with you, and I hope the best for you and your baby. And no matter what happens, you'll get through it. So thank you guys for tuning into my channel. stay tuned for the next video, and I hope to kind of do like a day in the life maybe of what a NICU mom is, and just to kind of show you the routine that I have. So if you guys are interested, let me know. Make sure you like this video, that you comment, subscribe, and share, and I will catch you guys soon. Bye.